Alright, as promised, an update to me becoming a medium. I've experienced a lot in the last 2 weeks, and by no means am I a medium yet. I'm still yet to see a spirit with my very own eyes or use one of my voyances, if you will. And yet I have had some experience. Some things have shifted within myself. I'm noticing more subtle energies, but only when I'm in a deep state of meditation. And I say this because the goal, at least within my own mind, is to be able to just walk and they almost like bump into me and like, oh, hello, this is what I need right now and would love like some information or for you to help this person. Like I want it to be able to see spirits almost like I see humans. But with that being said, let's get you all up to date with where I am. So the rules were as follows. Since the last video, I was told to meditate every day, stay disciplined, and go to the spiritual church every weekend. And so I've done that now. I've been twice to the spiritual church, and I'll explain both because both had very good implications. And then the meditations every day have also been very beneficial. Now, not every meditation I felt something. And in the first week, there were 2 very strong ones, and the rest were a bit mediocre. During my meditation, in one of them, I saw my guides, and I briefly described this in my shorter video. I saw like a future version of myself. I saw this Egyptian goddess or queen with like a gold halo around her head or like a crown. But didn't get any messages or anything, but those images were like clear as day. Then I also saw a jaguar at the end of the week, which made me watch Black Panther. That has a very strong emphasis on ancestry, and like in that movie you can see like panthers jumping off trees and like turning into like Black Panther's father and things like that, which was very good to see with my eyes, almost like a way it could appear in reality. So I definitely felt closer for my practice in the first week, but not a lot happened like spiritually, apart from those visions. But so a week ago, I went for the first time back to the medium church, or the spiritualist church. I don't even know what they're called. Sorry. And I've sat down. It was a hell of an experience because the man that gave me the reading was there in the crowd, and I said hello, thank you. The reading you gave me kind of changed my life because I know I've got many skills with tarot and things like that, but I never had that door open to even practicing mediumship, and you've changed my life in that way. And then I kind of left that there, and we had the ceremony because he was in the crowd. He wasn't giving readings, and then this woman was giving readings, and she was really good as well. She didn't give me one, but I was watching, like almost trying to pay attention to how she was giving readings, and the energy between the 2 readings was very different in terms of the man that gave me the reading the week before and this woman. I would say her energy was a lot lighter. It was a lot more vague, and yet that's no discredit to her. The readings she gave to the people she gave it to were to the point and very good for them or for what they needed. But just when I'm comparing the 2, I would say the man was better. I don't even know if you can compare these things, because in any moment someone will only ever be what the other person needs. So they were perfect for that week. But then tea and biscuits is always at the back, and the man comes in from the week before, and I go, well, it's a pleasure to see you. Why are you back here? I didn't think mediums came to the events. And he goes, I don't. I came to see you. And I was like, huh? what do you mean? Obviously knowing what he meant, but like I was just kind of surprised by the whole thing. And we ended up talking for like 45 minutes. He was glad to see that I was there, and I asked him if he teaches, because I wanted to ask him the week before and I just don't think I had the balls to do it. So the fact he came to the second week, I was like, look, are you a teacher? Can and it's not that I'm in a rush to become a medium. I don't care if this takes a year. I have no doubt I should be a fully fledged medium within the year, but the idea of time is not a problem. If it takes longer, if it takes shorter, whatever. The only thing I don't want is to spend a year doing something that I could have done better, if that makes sense. If I'm meant to help people, I'd rather help people sooner than later. So I just don't want to waste the meditations if there was a practice or something he could teach me to help me. Well, anyway, he turned around and went, no. He goes, I've tried to teach in the past and it's never gone well. I was like, alright, that's fair. And the other side of it was he went, but I am going to see you again. And I was like, okay. I still can't remember his name. I didn't take his number, but he said, I'm going to see you again. And the next time I see you, I want a tarot reading from you as well. But, I mean, most of that 45 minutes was just us talking about our belief systems and, like, the truth of reality, which was just a really cool conversation to have. But, yeah, so that was it. He sent me on my way, said do another week, come back. And I knew he wasn't going to be there this weekend because he said he's got some stuff to do. But then during the last week's meditations, again, it started off slow, didn't really feel anything. But then something kind of clicked towards the end of the week. I have it all. Let me get my notebook out. Because I tried to write down anything important that comes up during my readings. There we go. Okay, yeah. So, at the start of the week, Anubis came up. And I was looking at images of Anubis, the god of death, or the one that aways your heart in the afterlife. And I was looking at images and I was like, they look oddly similar to Black Panthers. And the fact that one of the, like, either guides or people that I saw the week before was also like an Egyptian queen, I was like, let me go down this route. And I spoke to a friend of mine on TikTok who said, like, they've told me they've worked with Anubis before. They love dark chocolate, like, offer that, light a candle and like see how that meditation goes. So I did some meditating. I think I did 2 nights on Anubis, which I didn't connect with him or see him the same way that I did with the other ones, but I don't know how to explain it. It was a new element of calm. And then later that week, I was watching Joe Black, the If You Know, You Know, with my wife, and I was like, why don't I just cut out the crap in the middle of all these, like, deities and just go straight to death? And so I spoke to Death, and during the meditation I kind of had a realization. I believe they told me, I don't know how to explain it, but I believe they told me was this. They told me what the opposite of death was, and it's not life. Because both in death and life there is change. If anything, death and life are just cycles of the same thing. They're the same side of the coin, but like cycles of it. You don't say, well, you can say like winter and summer are opposites, but they're still part of the same cycle. The opposite of death is the all, so that's either God, that's the universe around you, all of it. But it is everything all at once, all in this moment. And so what I mean by that is, when you're talking about the all, it's not just everything in this moment, it's all your past lives, all your future lives to be. These things have all happened, and that person does not experience change because everything is everything. They do not perceive, they do not have a perspective because they are just all. And I was like, okay, that actually kind of makes sense. and then like use that information as you will. That the opposite of death is God. But one other thing came from that, and well, I'll tell you what, let me tell you this first, because then I went to the spiritual church as well. So this was yesterday. I went, saw the woman that was there was called Bex. She was really good. Like the readings were amazing. Again, I didn't get a reading, but watching her work, now she even said she's not a medium in the sense she sees spirits, but she's clairaudient, so she can hear their voices. Again, she tried to explain it to people that don't understand clairvoyance, and I'll try and do the same. Clairaudience, it's not actually hearing words, at least for her, but she understands what frequency means in words. And so she'll get like a feeling, and she'll be able to convey that through words. And her readings were amazing just with that ability alone. Again, so like I would probably never go to her as a teacher, because that's not the way I want to learn mediumship, or at least I don't feel that would resonate with who I am on my current path. But with that being said, one thing she did speak about was she went on a like a plant medicine retreat, so things like ayahuasca and whatnot, and it got me thinking, like, because I've been in these kind of trance states before, and I'm like, is that what it means to be a medium? Just to constantly be almost like you're on mushrooms 24/7, not physically on them, but your reality to be perceived similar. So if anyone has ever been on mushrooms or is now, when you move your hand, there's like a lag, there's an after ripple. And so what I was going to say before was, during one of my meditations, when you when you move your hand across your face and you see that after ripple, I believe that's the after ripple is because you are seeing multiple realities at the same time. And again, for those of you that have experienced this before, I've been able to look in a mirror, and depending on my thought, the emotion I've held on to, my physical face has changed in the mirror. It's one of the reasons, that is one of the reasons I try to smile. Because I've seen the face that I get if I frown all the time. I saw the line from where I am now to some point in the future of what my face would look like if I am just holding on to either grief, sadness, or anger. It's not attractive, it's not beautiful, it's not what I want. Or at least it doesn't serve me. And for some, I'm sure it will, but a lot of people make these choices unconsciously. And so I think anyway, that's kind of where I'm up to. I'm sticking with it. I'll do another half an hour meditation today. Still waiting for these things to unlock, but I think that's what I'm going to do a meditation on tonight, because I tried to pick a theme, and that usually helps me either guide the meditation or at least know if I'm trying to see something, or sometimes I'm just think of nothing and I just allow whatever wants to come in. But I think tonight I definitely want to hit on the idea of this. I want to try and tap into the veil and see multiple realities at the same time. Again, I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see how this goes. And again, I'll try and update you again in 2 weeks. Keep you up to date on the journey. I'll let you know if I see that man again, or if I get a teacher. Oh, that's another thing. Because one person I did meet this weekend said that they were part of a circle, and I'm like, that sounds fun. I don't know what that is, but that sounds fun. So it's like a 2-hour thing in the afternoon. So you just go and you all try and resonate with each other, and that's, again, I don't know what I'm getting into, but I'm sure I'll fill you in the next one. If not, it probably wasn't good. But so I'm going to that on Wednesday, which should be really fun. I'll definitely make probably a short on that on either on YouTube or TikTok if you want to hear about that, and just see what comes of it. But it's just funny how, like, the old things that I used to enjoy doing in my spare time, like I still, if I could, like, I used to love playing League of Legends and like using my time up on like watching movies and stuff, and I just watched Joe Black, so it's not that I'm not still doing what I love, and like, I have played a game in the last week, but it went from playing every day to this is my play. The half an hour that I meditate, I am like so excited for what the future holds, and just opening these doors and seeing what our futures look like. Now, I'll leave you with this, because I was watching another movie, again, I can't remember what it was called, but it was an animated one on Netflix, and it was like a reality that had been frozen in time, and everyone else outside of that reality had continued moving, and so it was these young girl and boy that always loved each other, but in the other reality they'd had a child together, they were old, and yet in this one they were still trying to like find out what love was. But when they broke the veil, the boy said something very interesting, which was because he saw himself in the future who was struck with grief, and went, the only person you are ever a prisoner to is your own mind, because you can choose to do whatever you want in any moment, to think, feel, to be whatever you want to be. And yet if you've got something like grief on your mind, you don't get to realize, or you don't get to break out of those emotions. And that, I don't think that's to say, well, if you're meant to be grieving, then don't grieve. But what that does mean is, don't allow grief to be a prison. Be there because you want to be there. If someone dies, in this case, or gets lost or something along those lines, like, be in that moment. But then when you realize it's affecting either yourself or those around you in a way that you no longer like, that's when you turn around and go, I'm ready to move on. Because that's the definition of being free. You get to do whatever you want in any moment. So that has nothing against any negative emotion, because those emotions are valid. It's only when you hold on to them. It's like that jug analogy. You hold a jug of water and pour some water for yourself, no problem. You hold on to a jug for half an hour and your arm starts hurting. If you hold on to a jug for a day or longer, your arm will be screaming at you. And there's people out there that are holding on to exes, loved ones, things they've done bad in business. The list goes on, but they've been holding on to them for years. So break free from what no longer serves you, and just do what you want to do in any moment instead. Right, I hope that helps. I hope that updates people. Looking forward to the next 2 weeks, see how it goes, and I'll, as always, when I start seeing spirits, I'll show you lot what a medium looks like compared to my old tarot version of myself. Right, see you later. Stay kind, stay cute, stay curious, my friends. I'll see you all very soon.